Beautiful. Gotta go. Right there is where they were laying the other day. And here comes the boulders where they usually are. Right about there. Right there. Right there. Right there. There. Real. Rod tip up. Yes! Yes! Oh, it's a big one. No way, Dewey. Rod tip up. Holy, look at it. Woo! Holy, it's a beauty, hey? No way, Dewey. Look at him go upriver. He's gonna wrap around the camera. No way. Look at him. It's a beauty, eh? Holy, it's way bigger than that other one.
Is it?
Yeah.
So it's a different one?
Yeah. It's all chrome. No way. Look at the size of it. Look at that thing. Oh man, look at that fish. Holy shit, it's the biggest one of the year. No way. Gentle. Let's try some drag. Oh my god, look at the size of it, Dewey. Oh, that's huge. No way. Oh my god. Oh my god. Look at the size of it. Hey? Oh my god.
He's big.
It's freaking huge. What a freaking lunker. Okay. Oh, tail to me. Yes. Oh my god, Dewey. Oh. Okay. Oh my god. Did that happen? Holy. What a day. What a frickin' day. A good one so far. I got Sarah to get up at 5 o'clock, left, and the dog. And I took her to this one particular spot in the river where I got 2 spots in the river. I said, we're not going to fish all day, we're going to go to one spot. And I should be able to get you into a steelhead there. And if not there, then we'll go farther up the river to another spot, maybe there. And what do? She hooked one on her very first cast on the brand new steelhead rod I got her. Very first cast where she hooked one, that's good enough for me as far as I'm concerned. What happens 3 casts later? She catches the biggest steelhead that I've ever seen come out of this river. What? How cool is that? And then we went up to the other spot, and then I hooked a steelhead. And I got to see it. Lost it, I don't care. I hooked one. Then what? And then we went on a huge hike. I might show some of the content from the GoPro, and we went on a huge hike up a mountain in the timber looking for these Roosevelt elk sheds. Sweet trail. That's the one we were after.
that's definitely the trail we're after. Look at that. One up there. A little bit of side hill and that steep shit there.
Big hikes, found some big trails, but no antlers. So now I left her and Ruby in the truck. They are done like dinner. Way out there on that back in the logging road. I tried up the mountain. They didn't want to come and sit in the shade. They're done. They're done. I took them up the side of the mountain there, but it's way too windy for the camera. And I want to do this before I got home. So, and where I am right now is just back behind me, and over there about 200 yards is where I had that huge bull elk that year. I was above him and I whistled on him. That's where I am. It's the end of a great day. So, what do I got going on? I got a few emails here I can share before I head home, which I love to do instead of being inside. I'll tap quick touch base on. I'm still going to finish Anders' book. What else? That video. Now listen to me. The video that was sent in, I kind of made me laugh. I actually laughed to myself putting the how to hunt on top of it. Why? Because there's so many people that come and hit our channel and hate it, but they still come here. And then they take our content and they put it on their own channel. So I was kind of laughing at that, just for that fact. But for a lot of people that said, oh, you got to take your logo off of there. Think about it. If you look on the various different clips I did of the video, you can see everything. You don't miss anything. All right? But I'll do a better job at it later on. It's a bit of a rush job, but I'll do it again. I'll share it with you guys again. But quick touch base on that. I had an email in from the kind lady that sent it. I think I got it right here, actually. Speak of the devil. Oops, hold on. No internet here, of course, right? Yeah, here it is. Listen to this. Mark this as red. Hi, Steve. That video I sent was taken by my brother, and he was out scouting, he told me. And he doesn't care what people think. He knows what he saw. In the invincible words of a real cool guy, quote, take it from what you will and leave the rest. Oh, well, there you go. If you have any more questions, drop me an email. Tissy. Tissy, appreciate you big time. Member of the family, Tissy, you and your brother. You're a member of the club and the family here. Got a huge respect for your brother for sharing that. I believe him. I know. My gut tells me what he recorded was what he saw, and what he showed us is exactly what he thinks it is to me. And why do I think so? Not that and this is for everybody listening, I don't give a flying shit about video, which I've said a million times. I don't care. It's not going to make a difference for many. Meaning the people who know, who've seen. The majority of people who have seen and know want answers of us, answers about us, about truth of everything. Because once you get slapped in the face of this reality, if your brain's firing correctly, you instantly know that you have been misled and lied to about everything. And that's just not a repeat statement. That's a real serious concern. It should be. It should be a concern for every single person that comes here. It should be. I don't know if it is or not, but it should be. I mean, I have the majority of people that I know in this lifetime, my friends, don't have too much concern about what's really going on. It's kind of sad in a way. Don't you think, for all of you who know what I'm talking about, it's kind of sad in a way to see so many people just bumbling through life and not getting it. And you know, it's funny, just coincidentally in relation to what I'm thinking and saying right now, Sarah and I, we just did a huge hike straight down the mountain in this timber from the road, following an elk trail down into a river bottom. I'll show you the video where we went. And then we had to rip all the way back up, and then we stopped halfway up. We had 2 bars in my jacket, and I gave her a bar, and we sat there, and she goes, why do you think it is? Why do you think it is that we need to work ourselves so hard to be healthy and feel good? And you know what came straight to my mind? I looked at it and I said, possibly because we're built to be slaves. That's probably why. And she looked at me and went, maybe. I'm like, well, think about it. We feel better after struggle. We don't really go anywhere without struggle. Without struggle, we get depressed. So doesn't that mean we're possibly intentionally created to work hard? And if we didn't work hard, we get depressed and perish. Right? Seems to be pointing there. Anyway, that goes with truth and trying to find out our truth and reality of everything. So getting back to the video, that's how I start babbling, right? Getting back to the video for me, now we found out that was actually in water in the middle of frickin' winter. And I'll tell you what, all you parents out there, how old do you think that smaller being was in compared to the bigger one? How old do you think that would be if that was the same ratio as a human adult child? Right? Now follow me. However, whatever age you come up with and size of that child, let's just say that those are humans out there. Do you really think a human child that age and that size could rip across that grassy meadow in the water that smoothly without even bobbing up and down and not even stumble or fall down? I don't think so. Right? And did you see the length of the arm on that big dude? Holy shit. And did you notice everybody's the same color in that video and they're all stooped over on average. But do I think that's a legitimate video? Me? Absolutely. Does it matter? No. But I absolutely appreciate it. And I love the fact that our friends sent that to us, and I hope they send us more. Now, this is titled Stealth Mode. These are all recent, by the way. Steve, I sent this in a few years back. I bet it got deleted when your cell went crazy. My only, quote, predator, end quote, experience. I'll send my Dogman pic next. Just ordered a cap from Sarah. Good looking cap. Enjoy and be safe. Alright, appreciate you. Steve, I hope all is well. Shout out to Sarah. I've shared 4 of my experiences with you and your viewers, and this is the one I thought I'd keep to myself forever. But, hearing similar stories sent in by your viewers, I will tell mine. I've been hunting for 42 years. As an old telephone lineman, I like to place my stands no less than 25 feet off the ground. It keeps my scent above noses and other hunters out of my stands. Unfortunately, in our area of North Carolina, we have a serious trespassing problem. I have had multiple run-ins with these scumbags over the years, and on this trip, I would encounter a special trespasser. A hunter knows the difference of 2 legs versus 4 in the woods. Hearing turkeys, squirrels, cats, and deer are just a few animals that I encounter while hunting. And I'd placed my stand about 30 feet up a huge locust tree overlooking a 3-way funnel leading to a grassy field. The tree is wider than myself at my stand placement height, so I could not be seen by anything behind me. I am in the mountains, about 40 yards from the top of the mountain, just far enough off the ridge to keep out of the higher winds. I had about 100 yards looking down the hill to the intersection of the 3 trails. I'd been in the stand 3.5 hours. I had 10 minutes of shooting light left when I heard movement below me. I observed 3 does moving in from my left, working their way to the field. I was not interested in shooting a doe, so I just watched them pass. And at this time, I became aware of someone, 2-legged, something, walking in behind me at the top of the ridge, and I became infuriated. Infuriated. My blood began to boil. Another damn trespasser. I turned. The sun was just going down behind the next mountain over, allowing me to see west without being blinded. I watched the ridge closely. I saw the figure coming up from behind the laurels. He eased up to a tree, placed his right hand on the tree where a small limb come out. It was maybe a foot above his head. He was about 2 feet from the tree. And at this moment, I noticed how tall he was. So I'm going through my memory bank. Okay, who is the tallest poaching lowlife that sneaks around trespassing and poaching? I can't think of anyone in that group of scum over 5'5". Either way, I'm effing pissed. Today is the day I lose it. Every frickin' year, some lowlife comes stomping through while I'm hunting my land. I can see a perfect silhouette. I can see his head turning as he follows the deer below me. Then it just comes right out of my mouth. You know, I'm about effing fed up with you, GD trespassers. His head sharply turned, looked up, and tried to find me. Every damn year you sons of bitches come in here trespassing, no respect for landowners. Y'all are gonna keep it up until there's bloodshed. He doesn't make a sound. No reply. I do notice he drops his head and looks straight down. All I can see is a dark figure on two legs, outstretched arm holding a limb to the tree he's standing beside. What's the matter? You figure it makes you cool to just not say anything? While I'm talking, I pulled my binos to my eyes. That's binoculars. I want to see this guy's face. He's only 40 yards away. I look through my binos, and he disappears. I look over my binos, and I clearly see a silhouette. I look back through my binos, and nothing. So I do this a couple times. Upon looking back and forth a few times, I realize I can see him through the binos, but he's camouflaged perfectly with the tree, as if a mirror. Or, as many have said, like the predator in the movie. He never lifts his head. I can't see facial features, but I can tell his head is tilted down. At this point, all my hatred and rage leaves me, which is rare for me. I feel relaxed, but I'm still talking to him. I tell him that I realize not everyone owns land, but anyone can ask permission. I give him the old, "you can do better" speech. And then I tell him, "Damn, buddy, I'd pay good money for some of that camo you're wearing. That's the best camo I've ever seen. It absolutely blends. It blends absolutely perfectly with that locust tree. I'll tell you what. Why don't you tell me where you got it? What's it called?" Never a reply. At this time, it's dark, and I can barely make him out. The pissed off feeling starts again. "You know something, buddy? I'm coming down this tree. You can shoot me if you want, but we're going to meet face to face." I climbed down in record time, keeping my eyes on him the entire climb down. And as I reached the bottom, I untied my rifle and my pack, pulled out my 2000 lumen flashlight and shined it on him. It was like nothing I'd ever seen, almost like a prism. I couldn't see it, but I could see through it. And at this time, I realized this thing was pushing 9 feet tall. And in my mind, I thought he was on a stump or something. I told him to come on down the old logging road. We need to talk because I'm tired of this shit. I took a couple of steps, turned the flashlight back towards him, gone. So I stopped and listened, nothing. You could hear a squirrel hop at 100 yards. It was so dry, but I could hear nothing. This thing had vanished. By now it's totally dark. There was no way this thing could walk without a light. And he'd damn sure make noise. At this point I became spooked. That old sixth sense started throbbing. I couldn't move fast enough to get the quarter mile to my UTV. By the time I got the UTV started, I was in pure panic mode. I could feel something close to me. I drove the half mile to the main logging road to discover my wife driving up and down the old road in her Jeep. She was hot. "Where have you been? I've been calling your cell and driving here for an hour. Did you get one? Did you have to drag it out?" I asked, "What the hell are you talking about? It's maybe 5:45 p.m. It ain't been dark 30 minutes. And in reality, it was 7:30 and I lost 2 hours somewhere. And I didn't have a single missed call or text on my cell." We went home and I told her what had happened. The next day, the wife and I went to the spot where the thing had stood the evening before. There was no stump beside the tree, and the limb that this thing was holding was 10, 11 feet off the ground. The ground was totally bare where it had stopped. Almost looked clean, so to speak, and after a few minutes I got that uneasy feeling as if we were being watched, so we left. I don't know what happened, or what I saw, and how I lost 2 hours of time is beyond me. The one thing that sticks out in my head the most is this thing never looked up, as if he thought, if I stand still and don't look at him, he'll go away. Like we did as children, out of sight, out of mind. The peace that came over me during a rage was strange also. And then that same old fear rising as I was leaving. There is something to these beings. They get in our heads without speaking a word. Oh well, chalk another one up for old hairy ass. I really feel they attach themselves to some of us, or maybe some of us are just more receptive to their vibes. I would pay good money for a set of that camo. Be safe, Steve, and take care. Richard Miller, you too, Richard. Now, don't I have another one from you right here, I think? Or no? Hold on. Yeah, I got another one from you with a photo. I hope I didn't forget. I'm not, Okay, here we go. This is a different one. A couple more and a photo. Who knows if I got them in the right order? Oh well, if I didn't. Now I'll get to the first email. Second, but first in this folder. Good morning, Steve. Back again. I've shared multiple Sabe encounters through you. A couple more published in your book, and a few photos of footprints. I was marked in 1980 at the ripe old age of 13. And I've just come to live with the fact that they are around and have no issue showing themselves to me. Most encounters are auditory, tree knocks, snapping limbs, grunts, with occasional thrown rocks and sticks tossed in my direction. Most encounters are not scary. I feel they are just saying hello. I've been run out of an area I feel is their home base a few times. A very thick area of laurel bushes with an outlay of granite rock poking up through the ground. And 40 years ago, the field beside this area was a cornfield. Now it's just overgrown with young poplar trees, perfect size for bean poles. Most years I go to cut poles, they start tree knocking. The last trip for poles got scary. I always used my little handsaw to cut them. Not worth cranking the chainsaw. And I began cutting. I'd cut 3 or 4 poles when the knocking started. I stood up and announced I just needed a few and would leave shortly, and an immediate knock to my west was a reply. Then a knock from the southwest. Then the south. The west, southwest? Yeah, you got it. They were surrounding me and getting closer. They did leave the logging trail to my north open. No knocks from the trail I came in on. I again announced I would only be a few minutes and continued to cut. I heard the swirling of something cutting the air past overhead. I heard the swirling of something cutting the air pass overhead, and then blam. A 4-foot-long, 6-inch limb plopped the ground about 10 feet from me and my UTV. I'm leaving in a minute, I shouted. No sooner than I said it, another limb hit beside the other. And needless to say, if there was a beanpole dragging contents that day, I would have been crowned champion. For the first time in over 30 years, I was made to feel fear. Nothing like I'd felt as a teenager, but I'd felt it was in my best interest to get out of the woods. And I was happy to oblige, and I left. And about a month later, 50 yards from the pole field, I was sitting in my bow stand, dozing off in the morning sun, when a beautiful quartz rock landed at my feet. Tink, 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 as it skipped across the metal floor. A feeling of calm came to me. It almost felt as an apology for our last meeting. I looked in every direction and didn't see anything with the exception of 2 grouse picking in the underbrush. I enjoyed the hunt and walked to the house. The enclosed photo. My wife and I were making our rounds on the UTV, checking out trail cameras, pulling cards, replacing batteries, checking pics. As an old telephone pole lineman, I used my hooks and placed certain trespasser cameras 20 feet high along the ridges where our logging trails cut through, and scumbag trespassers sneak by. This helps keep my cameras from vanishing. Funny how most trespassers are low-life thieves also. Anyway, I was about 20 feet off the ground. My wife sitting in the UTV on the trail. The ridge was steep, and she was actually only about 12 feet from me. I had my back to her and the trail. The camera was facing the trail. I removed the camera so I could change the batteries. And at this moment, the camera snapped a picture over my shoulder. And in the photo appears to be a Dogman hanging from a tree on top of the ridge above the trail. It looks like it's hanging on with one hand, while its right arm hangs off its side. It looks to have pointed ears and a snout like a dog, but it looks to have a hand and fingers. from the camera to the Dogman is about 35, 40 yards, and I'd guess it's the size at 5 feet tall, give or take. I had no idea this thing was around. I removed the old card, placed a new one in the camera, and climbed down, and we continued checking cameras. And it was later that day that we were reviewing pics that we discovered this picture. I had never seen, nor have I seen a Dogman in the woods, and plenty of sabe, but never this thing. I've never seen any sign that would lead me to believe these things exist. But my wife had a close call the following summer in our backyard. Shit. We have an apple tree about 20 yards from the house on the edge of the woods. She likes to sit back in the shade and enjoy her quiet moments. On this particular day, she was waiting on the deer to come eat apples while enjoying a cigarette, and I was on the front porch with our Doberman watching for a groundhog to pop his head up in the hayfield, and I hear wifey screaming at our Doberman. Keep in mind, the Dobie is asleep in my lap. You get out of here, you know better. Leave those deer alone. Then I hear a real scream. The wife comes around the house, turning white around her eyes, and looks at me, then the dog, and says, I just saw a werewolf. I thought it was Dobie harassing the deer. So I shouted to leave the deer alone, and this dog-like thing ran away from under the apple tree. Black in color and had a huge head like a dog, but arms like a man. We went and looked under the tree, and the ground was tore up, and you could tell something had been there, and our Doberman shied away. So far, there's been no other sightings, but the story you read this morning from Southwest Virginia reminded me of this picture. And since I live in Northwest North Carolina, a few miles from the Tennessee-Virginia line, it struck a note with me. And I'm glad someone local had seen one also. Steve, please keep my email and phone private. Best wishes for your friends and the fire. All right. Gotcha, man. And there's the photo. Now, I don't know, it's funny. The stuff that people pick out of photos, I mean, yeah, it looks like something really weird hanging off the side of a tree. But I wouldn't even think to look up there myself normally. I'm looking on the ground for the trail, whatever's running around. But sharp ears and a snout. I mean, I'm zoomed in. I don't know what the hell that is, but I'll share it with everybody for sure. Yeah, weird. Weird, man. Crazy. There you go. Shared. Appreciate you, man. Big time. Appreciate you sending that in. The Dogman thing, right? Oh, and then you... Hold on. Yeah, I got it. All right, I got it. Got it. You sent me one larger pic? All right, I got it. Got it all. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know what to think about the Dogman thing myself. Is it, when you get to a certain age, or, I don't know, who knows? I can't even start trying to verbally guess out loud what's going on with that. I don't need to see one myself, a Dogman thing. What difference? So, where I am right now, if you were to travel this way, you would end up at Nitnat and the Carmanah. And the Carmanah on Vancouver Island is where a lot of guys I know have seen these hairy people in the Carmanah. C-A-R-M. C-A-R-M-A-N-A-H, I think, Carmanah. Just that way. Now, where I was the other day in the timber, where I get frickin' spooked right out, well, the hair on my body standing on end, it was straight that way, just over the hill, and that is about, where am I? 10 kilometers that way is where that was. And here's another thing I think some people pointed out to me. I got an email. When I was sitting there in that timber, for I don't know how long, I could not hear anything. Nothing. But you can hear the birds and everything on the video. What's up with that? That's something we need to take note of. And I don't know how we could find a pattern with that happening. How can we do that? The only way we could do that would be if somebody else is doing this, videotaping themselves at the same time they realize there's absolutely no sound, and then replay the video back at home and then hear the birds and all the frogs and birds. So I think that might be of something of big interest to many of us. It is me. Because I'm not kidding you. I hear when I'm in the woods, I hear shit. I've almost had my head blown off, but I'm the first guy to hear a faint gobble from a turkey. I'm the first guy to hear a faint bugle from an elk way down the valley, a moose grunt, whatever. I hear shit in the woods. I can hear a woodpecker right now. Little dicky birds, easily, right here. I can hear everything. Why is it the other day I'm sitting there and I'm like, holy cow, something's going on around here. And every hair on my body's standing up. And the last time I was there and did this, the same thing happened. Sitting on those logs. I couldn't even sit there, I had to leave. But I did not feel fright or dread the other day, so I'm like, no, I don't give a shit, I'm staying. Whatever, I'm staying. And I stayed. So, and you guys have been with me how many years now, and how many different remote places, and how many times have I done that? Twice. Maybe 3 times, twice that I remember. This last time, the time before, that same spot. I mean, I'm right in the middle of it here. Right that direction, about 10 kilometers where that happened, and just this way, a handful of kilometers is the Carmana, where these people are seen all the time. That way, about 1 kilometer is where those lights were in the sky over that girl's car. Right there. I don't feel the need to look anywhere in here, in this forest. Big deal. It's nothing. I can fall asleep right here like nothing. Why is that? Right? Why the hell's that? Why was it eating my nerves being there? Eating my nerves, making the hair stand up on my body, and everything was dead silent at the same time. But the regular forest sounds were recorded by the camera. What the hell's up with that? That is something that's going to sit on a shelf right here, and that, I have a funny feeling, is a piece of the puzzle. Relates to a big piece of the puzzle, I'm certain. Don't you think? We got people losing time. Don't have a clue. So that means something is going on with many of us that we can't explain and don't realize is going on. And what I experienced over here, and you guys saw me, heard me say, I can't hear nothing. I couldn't hear nothing. And something was going on. And the camera's picking up all the natural sounds, but I'm not. I don't know. Anyway, I guess I could babble and wonder about that another time, right? Pretty weird. Some frickin' crazy shit going on. Now, all right, now before I forget, this is really, really important, all right? Possibly for many. A guy I know, kick-ass dude. Very A-type, fit. He pursued a lifetime of guiding big game, preferably mountain sheep. He's guided crazy-ass sheep in Tajikistan, Mexico, desert bighorn, stone sheep bighorn. He's a major, talented, experienced, super outdoor, passionate, good guy. Got a beautiful teenage daughter, wife, 1 lung left from battling cancer. He's been doing this with 1 lung. And he just got told he has stage 4 cancer. Shitty deal. Shit, I forgot. I'm going to share his GoFundMe here too. Anyway, he's battling it out right now. And just so you guys know, saw the update. I was going to copy and paste it and show you guys. But listen to this and listen closely. Alright? I got to do this for the proper word. So, the latest, he has been taking a course of ivermectin, the same shit we take, and we've shared with you, and a combo with fenbendazole. Fenbendazole. That combo. And his friend wrote the update on the GoFundMe. He said, amazingly, all of his pain has rapidly left. What's up with that? Shared. Fenbendazole. and ivermectin combo, cancer. And I can't wait to hear the next update. And I also heard of somebody who, I think somebody would have posted here, they healed themselves 3 times of the cancer. Made it go away 3 times of this combo. There you go. Shared. My duty as a human being and a member of society, obligated to share that shit. Anybody laughs at you, tell them to ram it up their ass. Okay, here we go. I just remembered that. Now, this may be new, maybe not. What do we got? Alright, what do we got here? This is titled Aliens slash Sasquatch Critical Thinking. Hello, Steve. I'll jump right in. Why are there so many movies from the Hollywood propaganda machine about aliens, yet few on Sasquatch? I don't know. Good question. Why all the disclosure and transparency on aliens and not Sasquatch? Good question. Are there many alien encounters that predate early 1900s like Sasquatch does? I think so if you look at some of the Mayan artwork and Egyptian. Is it not possible for humans to build a flying object that most of the population are unfamiliar with? Magnets move with precision, with silence, can defy gravity, and this planet is one electromagnetic ball waiting to be tapped into from the magnetic north to south pole. Is it not possible for humans to take soft tissue from cattle with scalpel-like precision? Do we have scalpels? We do have scalpels. The bigger question, perhaps, is who or what is monitoring cancer in livestock and thus radiation in the grass? I'm not saying aliens don't exist, I don't know. What I do know is as early as 1917, comments have been made that the only way to truly unite the world and bring in, quote, one world government, end quote, is to have a perceived threat from an outside enemy. Reagan mentioned this several times during speeches. So we shouldn't underestimate the brilliance of the human mind and its ability to create, deceive either. Beings are sneaking into nuclear facilities, but it is our intelligence that built it. Nikola Tesla may have given us the greatest clue to much of this phenomena when he stated, quote, "If you want to unlock the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration," end quote. Physically, we are a biological battery. Every second we are either using, replenishing, or storing energy. Positives and negatives are everywhere, including our blood. Metaphysically and spiritually, we are just waves of frequency and vibration, and if we fully understand this and could control it, we too may just turn our appearance into a translucent blur. Everything emits good and bad vibrations. Some can pick up on this more than others. Steve, you're a legend for creating a platform for people to deeper thought and questions, not just about Sasquatch, but we humans also. This is just as much about finding our true history and origin and why we exist. From the greatest questions come the greatest answers. Thanks, no one special. Yeah, you are. We're all special, Scott. And I appreciate that email, my man, big time. Thank you. I appreciate that email. There you go. Keep the wheels spinning, right? Keep the wheels spinning. Okay, what's this one? This sounds... Did I read this? We're going to find out. Children and great outdoor safety. Hi, Steve. My name is Ben. Feel free to share my name. I followed your channel for some time now and truly appreciate what a stand-up guy you seem to be. I can tell you're genuine, honest, and do not care about any naysayer's opinion. Thanks for the kind words, my man. I haven't seen a being in the forest at this point in my life. 37 years old, there's still time. But I've had other experiences. I've always been very sensitive spiritually, and at the age of 9 had a terrifying incident at a church that I've never been able to shake out of my head. I think In that way, I can relate to people who have shared stories on your channel. My purpose in writing you was not to share that story, though. My purpose in writing this email was to ask this community how to be safe out there with my kids. My wife is a teacher and I'm an engineer. We recently decided to pick up from California and move up to Idaho. My wife and I absolutely love the outdoors and camping and fishing. We're looking forward to accessing the Sawtooth Range, which is very close to us now with our kids. My son's 5, my daughter's 2. I've had a reality check of sorts over the last year, and we have begun to garden, and I plan to hunt this next season. I want to work for my food and plan to provide for my children. That being said, we'll be camping as a family as well. I have an arsenal, and I would obviously protect my family with my life. And if I learned anything from this channel, though, it's that shooting one is not the best idea. My first question is, how do I hunt safely in an area that I know is home to these things? I plan to not hunt alone if at all possible and be conscientious/respectful, without being a pussy, of my surroundings. And my second question is, how do I safely take my children out in the wilderness without looking like a nut job helicoptering over them? I refuse to be afraid of the outdoors and not have my children experience it. Fear is one of the greatest enemies we face individually, in my opinion. Thanks for taking the time to read this. Thanks for any information you give, and sorry for the long email, Ben. That was a short one, Ben, and I appreciate that. I'm super glad you're asking those questions, especially asking them and fully coming forward that you've never seen one of these beings that we talk about. Keeping the kids safe. First off, you have to be honest with your children. So many of us aren't. It'll be up to you to decide when you fill them in honestly, but you got to tell them what's out there. You got to tell them what's out there. And fill them in. You know what? I got to talk to my friend who did our book cover. I just am so busy. Damn it. But we do have that on the to-do list of making a book about these people and everything we know so that the world can have it. Everything we know honestly without being aboard somebody's frickin' camp where they want to keep shit secret from the people or destroy their own narratives. They can ram it up their asses. We're going to make that book and put every single thing in there that has been a pattern and make it available for the people. But, sorry, babbling. As a parent, when do you guys, the parents, when do you think it's appropriate to be honest with your kids about this shit? Me? I'm an asshole. I don't give a shit. If I had small children right there, I'd raise them with the truth. Absolutely, because it is the truth. Is it a hard truth? Hell yeah. But I think by now, what would I do? All right, I got a 5-year-old, a 7-year-old, something, around that age where they're probably going to lope around the forest with me and tell them flat out. First, I think I'm probably going to explain to the children thoroughly and most understandably as I can about their sixth sense, especially when it comes to humans. Anybody, anything. If you feel bad, if you feel alarmed, you feel nervous, and all the hair on your body starts to stand on end, that means something's wrong. Okay? Probably means you got to get back to your brother, your sister, home, or back to the front of the house and make sure you got the dog with you. I'm going to teach them about their sixth sense, and then I'm going to break to them gently that there are beings and things in the woods, and you will feel them before you see them, more than likely. And if you feel those feelings, make sure you get home as fast as you can or make as much noise as you can. Scream for me or scream for your mom or whoever you're with. But overall, it's safe. But you must be in tune with your sixth sense, right? We have a rule at home. No kids go outside without the dog. Period. Yep, I guess that's up to the parent to decide what age they don't have to have the dog. And how do you hunt safely? Well, if you've probably been here for a while by now, if you watch what I do, in my mind, I'm nonstop saying, just leave me alone. Leave me alone. I'm out here hunting. I love it out here. I'm harmless. I don't give a shit about you. I'm not looking for you. I don't need a picture of you. I don't need you to destroy anything for you. Anything about you. I'm not here to harm you in any way, and I want you to leave me alone. If you threaten me in any way, I will do whatever I can to put a hole in your head if I have to. Right? Pretty fair, but that's what I do. That's what I do all the time. Obviously, I still have things happen, but I'm in the woods, on average, a lot more than your average person, so. Camping at night, what do? I put cameras, trail cameras, around all different angles around the tent now, depending on where I go. Usually I do, especially with Sarah there. I put cameras, trail cameras around camp. Just what the hell, why not? I want to sleep all night. I don't need her getting absolutely tormented and terrorized, not wanting to go out in the woods again. I just got her out there. So I do that. Then I also say out loud, just leave us alone. We've offered tobacco up, we've staged, and left cameras. It's about all we can do right now that I know of. Alright, here we go. Hello, Steve. First of all, thank you. God bless you. Thank you, too. God bless you, too. My name is Nathan Wheeler. I live in the high mountains of North Carolina, just a couple hours from Scott Carpenter, and have a couple of experiences to share. I've been hunting all my life in these woods, never seen anything, but know they're here. I don't really want to see one. So anyway, my wife, myself, and my dog went for a hike one day to one of the 6 highest peaks east of the Rockies in the lower 48, the Black Mountain Range. I'm in good shape, I hike and fish, and I carry a 20 to 30 pound pack almost always. Where we were is what I call dark timber. Missing some punctuation, sorry guys. Almost always where we were is what I call dark timber, very thick for trees can't see 10 to 15 feet in from the trail we were on. I had a very real feeling of being watched, like someone had eyes on me, a sixth sense. I'm in tune. I just couldn't shake it. It felt like it took forever to get out of there into the meadows. I wanted a glass for whitetail, which is about a 3.5 mile hike with a little over 2,000 foot in elevation climb. We finally made it out, sat and had some lunch and a rest and glassed for a while. After an hour or so, we headed back down the hill. When we got back in the timber, it was back. The feelings were stronger than before and telling me that I need to get out of there. I had one problem. It was as if every ounce of my energy was gone. My feet felt like cinder blocks. It was all I could do to walk, like something was trying to get me to stop and lay down and give up. I kept moving, scared to sit down for fear I wouldn't get up. And I don't scare easily, but this was different, like I had no control. I wanted out, but it was like I just couldn't get there. We finally made it out, and I have been back, just not up to that dark timber. I don't know if I'll go back to that spot or not. Suggestions? Anyway, thank you so much for all you're doing, Brother Steve. If you ever get down this way, I'll have a beer and a steak dinner waiting for you. Thank you. God bless you, Nate. P.S. I have had this feeling another time after that when muzzleload hunting in another spot in the high mountains. I've been able to make myself go back to that spot, but it is still an uneasy place for me, as you well know. Wow. All right, who knows? Don't know. A lot of people, I'm guessing, are going to say you were on the edge of or inside possibly the entrance to a portal or something similar. You never know, right? And what would be interesting would be if you lost time during that feeling like cinder block feet can't move, quicksandy kind of feeling. I wonder if you lost time there. Keep going, don't quit though. Keep going and don't quit, right? You're gonna be dead anyway. I'm dying. I might be dead tomorrow. Right? That's why I'm still out here doing this shit. I'm not stopping. I don't give a flying shit. I know this lifetime's gonna be done real quickly. So, don't quit. Please don't ever quit doing what you love to do. And just rely on your senses. You feel that shit? Back away and step exactly the way you came in till you felt it. When you feel it, here's another thing that I have for advice. You're going through this, okay, say I go that way 100 yards. Boom. Every hair in your body stands up. You feel like whatever you're feeling, everything goes dead silent. You turn around and walk the way back out the exact same way you came in. Don't go off to the side. Turn around, step for step back out. And I know people are going to say, well, why didn't you do that the other day? I didn't do that the other day because I didn't feel terror or dread or in danger. All I felt was, whoa. That's all I felt was my hair standing on end from head to toe. Like, it didn't, I don't know. I've felt stared at before, for sure. I know I've been stared at before, for sure, by various things. I remember one time I could feel something staring the shit out of me, like, holy cow. Looking up, I went back there, back-trailed again the next day, and it was a pack of wolves. Above me in the timber like this, but up on a ridge looking down on me, only about 30 yards above me, 20. But the other day wasn't, I can't say it was eyeballs burning in me. It just felt like something's going on here in this forest behind me. Where is it? I was looking up. I looked up. I looked all around. But it's like something's going on in this forest. But it wasn't, I'm going to die. It wasn't turn around and go home. If I feel turn around and get out of here, not good. You turn around and you go back step for step the way you came in. And you do it pronto. That's another chunk of advice. Anyway, enough babbling. I better hike out to the truck. They're in the truck, door's locked. They probably guarantee you they're passed out. Maybe I should sneak up on them and scare the shit out of them. Maybe I better not, right? Anyway, there you go, you guys. I'll be back again tomorrow. Who knows, maybe I'll put more of an effort into the... I'll see about trying to figure out how to make that watermark a little more translucent. Just to mess with the dirtbags that come to my channel, our channel, and shit on our channel regularly other places, but they still come here and take our content. Anyway, I know it shouldn't bother me, but I still got the fighter in me, right? You come and shit in my yard, I'm gonna shit all over you, so you're gonna keep coming, taking our stuff, running us into the ground. Well, we're gonna make it a little uncomfortable for you to take our stuff. That's why I did it, alright? Anyway, what a great day today. What a great frickin' day. And I got to come here and do this in this beautiful forest and share it with you guys. I love that. I love being here more than I love being in a house or in my room. Big time. Way better doing this here than at home. Anyway, I gotta get going. I'll be back tomorrow, for sure. Just think, one day I'm not gonna be back tomorrow.